Let's see if those notifications go out. Here goes the local notification. That's always good. It usually means that the other ones are going to go out too. If I see that local notification, I don't know why that is. I don't think they have anything to do with each other. I think it just seems like it's... what do you mean my face doesn't match? It's the same face. It's always the same face, man. I don't understand this. I don't know why this is such a hassle. It's so funny. It's always the same face, man. Hey, there we go. Our notifications are out. Hello, everybody. So glad you could all make it. So now that I know the notifications went out.
Nick Brown.
Nick, good morning.
Good morning, brother.
I'm just going to turn my fan on. I got a little hot.
Steven,
hello.
Hello.
So, I just want to say at the very beginning of every show, and, you know, when we're smoking and all that good stuff, to thank all of you for taking a moment to pop in here, whether it's for 1 second or for the entire show. I really appreciate you guys being here.
Good morning, Nick.
Aaron, hello. Oracle, hello.
The freaking Oracle. Morning coffee.
Hey, it's Sunday. Does that mean you're not driving a truck? Oh, you're actually you're in one place, man? Or are you mobile? Where are we at? Today's Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. Oh, it's not April 1st. Today's April 2nd. That was weird. I thought today was April 1st. Anyway, yeah, they had the Springs concert last night. I didn't go. I went outside to try to hear the music, and I couldn't hear the music. I guess the wind was blowing the wrong direction because I could hear it the night before. But I wasn't really interested. I didn't want to go hang around with a bunch of people. I just didn't feel like it.
Nope, not today, but get a new truck next week. Brand spanking new Dodge.
And I slept really good last night. New truck, dude, that's great. So you're chilling, man. You're hanging out. That's great, man. Crypto's looking great. We've got a recovery going on in the market right now. I'm just going to bring that screen up for a second to show it to you. This is a bouncing recovery. It looks beautiful. It looks like we could be looking at a shoulder and a head.
Josh G.
Here.
CK.
So this is a shoulder, this is a head, or this is a shoulder and this is a head. And we get another one of these or another one of these, and then we're going to go
Josh
up
G.
real high, guys.
Good morning.
So be looking for 30,000. 30,000 probably today.
Smoking on a concentrate from a strain called Star Dog this morning.
Star Dog, I've heard of Star Dog.
Never had it before.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. I've never tried it myself, but I have heard of it. That is great that you've got it. And we've got something exciting to watch. It's a 24-minute video from Thunderfoot where he's exposing a fusion. Basically, it's just a hoax.
Josh Vega.
Some of you might get excited.
I haven't seen you live in a while. Nice haircut.
Thanks, Josh. I did it myself.
Billy Bong
Cut my hair myself, bro.
Well, hello.
I cut it myself with a wall trimmer. Billy Bong, hello. Yeah, Whale, hello. Wow, only 6 viewers? I don't believe that. It says 6 viewers and like 12 people have already said hi to me. So I don't think the numbers are being honest today. Let me refresh the Rumble. Okay, great. Just kind of weird. This should line up and it doesn't. Let me get rid of that. We'll just do it again. It's so weird that it does that. We'll go like this, like that, and I'll just go like this. Great. We got one person over there.
Josh Vega. Good stuff.
Okay, fantastic. But we just started, and let's get into the Thunderfoot video right off the bat.
There's 13 viewers on your other YouTube channel and 2 on this one.
13? Bro, it says there's 6. That is so bad that they're doing that to me. I've got a lot more people watching me, and if I'd known that, I would take this so much more seriously. It's not fair to me, man. It's not fair that they miscount the numbers. I pay them $1,000 a year for them to track those numbers correctly for me. You'd think they could get that right. Well, they can't. And you just told me there's 13 people watching on YouTube, bro? Oh, I didn't do my my SEO. Let me do the SEO on YouTube. Not that that does anything, because I don't think it does, but somebody told me to do SEO, and I'm like, okay. Let's see what happens. Save. There's the SEO. Okay. Done. We can put this down here, and this is just kind of weird. I can't click on. Oh, okay. There we go. That's weird. That's the wrong page. Okay, there we go. Great. That's how that goes. Fantastic. Okay. I need to blast myself with some air again. It's a little humid outside. Yeah, it says 7 viewers, man. Wow. So, I guess I should just go pop over there at YouTube and go verify that, huh? Even though I was just there. Oh, so, what do you mean 13, bro? It says 5. What are you talking about, 13?
Michael has tea. What's up, Nick?
Where do you see 13 viewers, bro? Let me know. That'd be nice, but I don't see it. Anyway, we'll get 13 eventually. Let's go ahead and start the Thunderfoot video. And understand that, even 60 Minutes is capable of being punked. And they got
Billy
punked.
Bong Thornton.
They got punked.
I was just in the channel, it said 13.
Michael Haskey, what's up, buddy? Okay, so let's go ahead with the video here. Wherever it is. That is weird. Here it is. Great. Okay, here we go.
Last month, the nearest star to the Earth was in California.
Yeah, that's pushing the creative limits of what you would call a star.
In a laboratory, for the first time, the world's largest lasers forced atoms of hydrogen to fuse together in the same kind of energy-producing reaction that fires the sun.
That's a little confusing. I was under the impression that fusion had been done in the lab for over 50 years.
It lasted less.
So isn't it funny that 60 Minutes is literally just misrepresenting facts, and Thunderfoot has to pause the video and correct him every few seconds?
In a billionth of a second.
60 Minutes!
But after 6
you can't even
decades
trust them
of
anymore.
toil and failure, the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory proved it could be done.
Actually, I think there might have been an incident like this sometime.
That laboratory? Yeah.
Energy out of hydrogen.
The energy lab!
The nearest star to Earth was Bikini Atoll.
If fusion becomes commercial power one day,
Commercial
it would be
power?
endless and carbon-free.
No one's talking about commercial
That's
power,
bizarre.
bro.
That sounds like he actually believes that they're trying to build a fusion power station here, rather than, say, for instance, just do nuclear weapons research in the lab.
In other words, it would change human destiny.
Well, yeah, I suppose nuclear weapons research does change human destiny.
So he's talking about energy changing human destiny, and Thunderfoot is being sarcastic as hell right there. But at the same time, this guy is a reporter and had no idea what he was reporting on. That's the story.
As you'll see, there's far to go, but after December's breakthrough, we were invited to tour the lab and meet the team that brought star power down to Earth.
Bizarre that he's still not mentioned that it's nuclear weapons research that he's looking at here, which also seemed to be a common feature of most of the reporting on this announcement. But don't worry, I've got an immense underground sting operation that will reveal to you in absolute detail that only the best journalists could have possibly worked out that that's true. But we'll come to that later.
The National Ignition Facility, or NIF, was built for $3.5 billion to ignite self-sustaining fusion.
Yeah, $3.5 billion. Where have you ever heard that kind of money being spent? On us. Oh, where do you hear that kind of money being spent? Oh, that's right, on the military. Yeah, $3.5 billion so that we can have energy forever.
Yep, that's the sort of money you would expect for nuclear weapons research.
How funny is that? That I watched some of this video and I missed that part. He said the exact same thing I said, came to the exact same conclusion as Thunderfoot, the scientist.
Last month, the laser shot fired from this control room put 2 units of energy into the experiment.
This part I remember.
Atoms began fusing,
And 3
and
came
about
out.
3 units of energy came out.
Ooh.
Yeah, whereas about
Suck, G.
50
Yo,
years
Stick.
ago, you could put 1 unit of energy
Sup?
into it.
We're about to do a bong rip.
And get 100 out by fusion. Something called a hydrogen bomb.
Put 2 units of energy into the experiment, atoms began fusing, and about 3 units of energy came out.
Well, that's it then. We're done. That's fusion. More energy
we go.
out than you put in. So
This bitch
just
right here?
strap a power station
Look.
around the outside.
This is
Kevin
exactly
Bonnet.
the kind of
Shit.
bitch that they would
Let's
get
go, I shall join.
to try to smooth over the fact that they're a fucking nuclear research for nuclear weapons facility. This is the kind of bitch you put in the front. She's the tip of the fucking spear. That's the face you look at. So you're like, oh, it's all energy and it's all going to be good for us.
And you're done. An almost limitless supply of
She's a fucking
clean
tool.
energy.
That woman is a tool.
Yeah.
She's a
And
fucking tool.
I somehow suspect
Every
that
sense of the
this
word,
might
she's a
not
fucking
be
tool.
entirely the story, that they might be missing out some crushingly important details. I mean, let's just do some ballpark feel numbers here.
Let's do
How much-
ballpark. Thank you to all of you guys that come in here and watch this show. You guys are my lifeblood and what makes this happen. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for the audience. Thank you guys. And if you ever want the
My
show to
girl has
end,
tea.
just stop coming.
Hashtag tool.
When I have no more audience, I'll stop broadcasting. As long as you're here, I'm live. So thank you guys for that. Cheers to all of you. No Oregonian cannabis.
Which energy are we talking about?
About 2 megajoules in, about 3 megajoules out.
Well, those are remarkably easy numbers to visualize, because it takes
And
about
how?
2 megajoules to boil a
Cheers.
litre of water. Well, that's basically the energy it takes to run a kettle for 15 minutes. So we're going to have enough energy to run a kettle for 10 minutes, quarter of an hour, that sort of thing. What are we going to do with
Billy
that?
Bob
First,
Thornton.
there's the energy required,
The
which is
government would
delivered
never
by
give us an
lasers in
unlimited
these
supply of
tubes that
energy. Ha
are
ha ha. Your ass is going to pay for energy until death do us part.
Exactly.
longer than a football field.
Each one of these lasers is one of the most energetic in the world, and you have 192 of them.
And you're going to run all of that off the power it takes to run a kettle for 10 minutes.
All that wallop vaporizes a target nearly too small to see.
Can
Well,
I
I
hold
just
this
hit
thing?
mine now.
Absolutely.
Feel like David Bowie in space.
Watch this.
Kevin Monaco.
Unbelievable.
Unrelated real
Hashtag
science
now
note, actually.
sleep.
It's always amusing to see multi-billion-dollar facilities, because this is how real science works, using practical stuff to get things to work. So it looks like what they've got here is just a Sharpie, an empty Sharpie, with a valve attached to it, with a standard lure lock fitting, and just a regular syringe needle that's been ground flat. That's what they're going to be using to handle their fusion beads.
So these need to be as close to perfect as humanly possible.
That's right. That's right. And we do think there are among the most perfect items that we have on Earth.
Yeah, this isn't an energy production research facility.
Move them together, and then we apply glue using a hair.
A hair.
Yeah, usually something like an eyelash or a similar, or a cat whisker.
I like this guy. You see, again, practical scientist talking here. When I was making my microjet nozzles,
That's nice, almost there, almost there. When it's just about to close, it's about there, you just pull. Nice and gentle pull until it actually solidifies.
when you've got to sort of calibrate how big they are, one of the easiest calibration standards that you have is the human hair, which is about 1/10 of a millimeter or 100 microns in diameter.
There I've got a calibration slide under a microscope. That's 1 millimeter there. Alright, there's your typical human hair, who clocks in at just under 100 microns. That sort of thing. You're going to need to have to put a scratch on here at about the right distance, at about the right position. What I reckon is going to be about... there.
I feel like David Bowie in space. It's funny.
Good. So we've got one nice little scratch on there. A little lick there.
I haven't seen into this video this far. This is where I stopped watching it.
There you go, there's a human hair. You should find that you have a capillary that's about 100 microns. Actually, slightly less, it's about 50. Cool. That's all there is to it.
So yeah, when I see other scientists using human hairs to do stuff, I like it.
One physicist said, "You should see the target we blasted December 5th," which made us ask, could we? Cylinder was blasted to oblivion. The copper support that held it was peeled backward.
Yeah, spoiler. If you were to put anything at the focus of that laser, it would look like this.
The explosion on the end of this was hotter than the
Thunderfoot saying it might not necessarily have been the explosion that did all that damage to that piece of metal. It could have just been the lasers they were shooting to start the explosion.
sun.
It was hotter than the center of the sun. We were able to achieve...
Do you trust this bitch that's making this reporter think that this is an energy research lab and they're really trying to make more powerful bombs? Do you trust this fucking bitch with the sly smile on her fucking face? You trust her, everybody? Let me know in the chat if you trust this bitch.
temperatures that were the hottest in the entire solar system.
Yeah, what do they say? 2 units in, 3 out? So even if there was no fusion whatsoever, this would have still been basically one of the hottest objects in the solar system.
Michael has
it's going to explode pretty spectacular.
Hashtag no.
Temperatures that were the hottest in the entire solar system.
No.
Which would make an astronomical change in electric power.
But, you know, this guy from 60 Minutes bought it all hook, line, and sinker, you know, because there was a pretty Asian woman in there to smooth him over. You know?
This ties into the Space Force
Hilarious.
and laser pistols, ha ha ha.
How exactly?
This assembly goes into a blue vacuum chamber 3 stories tall. It's hard to see here because it's bristling with lasers and instruments.
I don't see any way of capturing any of this energy, let alone actually turning it into something useful.
Unlike today's nuclear plants, which split atoms apart, fusing them is many times more powerful.
Is it though? Let's do a little
Kevin
fact check
Monaco.
on that, shall we? Splitting up your usual uranium nucleus by
The
fission will
Valentine
release
collection.
about 200 million
Morning.
Hey, Billy.
Yeah, I looked into this. It's a weapons lab. If that was an accident, investors would pull out. But if it was a weapons test, it's successful. So dude got Honey Ted. Billy Bong Thornton. She's just going along with the prom to get her paycheck, lol.
Honey potted.
Josh G. DW conspirators are abbing popcorn.
There's nothing here, guys. This is what, I mean, this is just strictly weapons
Michael has
technology 101.
With the force of gravity, the sun gets off. If that thing was anywhere near close to, as she said, the center of the sun, I'd think it would be heavier than anything known to us.
Just listen to what Thunderfoot says.
electron volts of energy. The most accessible hydrogen fusion reactor
Kevin
using
Monaco.
deuterium and tritium will
High
release
five.
about 18 mega electron volts
Kevin
of energy.
Monaco.
On a per reaction
can of
basis,
hairspray.
A fart in
per
a can of
nuclei
hairspray.
basis, fission produces much more energy than fusion. But what if we do it on a mass basis? Well, deuterium weighs 2 and tritium 3, so that would be 5 grams of stuff produces the equivalent of 18 odd million electron volts. Whereas you would need 230 grams of uranium to produce the 200 mega electron volts. Equivalent. So if you go by grammar fuel, hydrogen fusion is about 3 times better than splitting uranium. But you need to fuse a lot of hydrogen atoms to get the same energy as splitting 1 uranium atom.
with little long-term radiation,
Kevin
and
Monaco.
it's easy to turn off,
Don't
so
you say it's
no
on the
meltdowns.
Don't try this at
Not
home.
entirely true, as anyone who knows about the Castle Bravo screw-up
Here, let's go
will
back.
know.
What's not true?
With little long-term radiation, and it's easy to turn off, so no meltdowns.
Not entirely true, as anyone who knows about the Castle Bravo screw-up will know. You see, all power stations are just glorified water boilers. The problem with nuclear power stations, of course, is you're producing particles that are about 1,000,000 times more energetic than, say, burning gas.
Dab
The
time,
practical
kids.
upshot is the difference between running comfortably and melting down is only like a factor of 2 in energy, and that's much more difficult to contain when you're dealing with things that generate so much energy. But once you achieve ignition, of course, you can actually get a
Kevin
runaway,
Monaco.
especially if you don't understand
Cheers.
physics particularly well,
Heating.
which is what
Brown.
happened with Castle Bravo.
Cheers.
There was a fusion reaction
Meltdown
that
has
wasn't
heat.
really expected. The practical
That's what
upshot was
happens
the
if you
nuclear
keep
weapon was
messing with
meant
this
to
stuff.
detonate at about 5
Valentine
megatons, and
collection.
actually detonated with
Cheers,
about 50
Incredible Hulk.
megatons, and was one of the
Billy Bond
larger
Fountain.
nuclear
Incredible Hulk, you're
disasters
smoking.
in
Jabba
history.
Jabba Drill.
Now, of course, you'll never get a fusion reactor to blow up like a hydrogen bomb, because that would mean you would need all the fuel there and to have it all react all at once. But then again, that same thing is true for a fission reactor.
We estimate between 2 and 4 megatons. Everything within a 30-kilometer radius will be completely destroyed.
This was 1986.
That's bullshit.
Chernobyl.
Wherein all of the cores will be ejected at force and dispersed by a massive
Are you guys impressed that I knew the date of Chernobyl?
Especially bullshit.
which will extend approximately 200 kilometers and likely be fatal to the entire population of Kiev as well as a portion of Minsk.
Yeah, a fission reactor cannot blow up like a nuclear bomb. You need a precise geometry of fissile material and microsecond timing to get those to work. However, with bad reactor design, you can get your reactor to produce a few times more power than you expect, at which point the reactor just melts, and it's not really that functional as a reactor after it melts.
How many shots do you take in a day?
Take your time.
I love this scene.
You want me to?
How many shots?
One of my favorite movies, Fifth Element.
Choose life.
We take, on average, a little more than 1 shot per day.
If this was theoretically a commercial power plant, how many shots a day would be required?
Approximately 10 shots per
Monaco.
second
When
would
you
be
get one
required.
Damages.
Okay, let's do the
Kevin
basic
Monaco.
maths on that. What did they say? It was about, it was a couple of megajoules coming out of each shot, right?
About 2 megajoules in, about 3 megajoules out.
So 10 shots in a second would be about 20 megajoules. 20
All right,
megajoules
cheers, everybody.
in
No
1
Organic
second
Cannabis, and
is
thank you
20
all for taking time out of your days and
megawatts. How's that
nights
compared
to come in
say,
here and populate this audience.
Well, let's
It
just
means a
compare
lot
it
to
a
me, man.
benchmark
Thank
of
you
the
guys.
largest
That's
power
what keeps the
stations in
shows
world.
going. Cheers.
They make about 20,000 megawatts, with regular power stations being about 10 times smaller than this. So 10 shots per second was 20 megawatts. So to get up to a sensible sized power station of 2,000 megawatts, you would need about 1,000 shots per second or 60,000 shots per minute. The reason I go per minute is because the world's fastest firing in-service machine gun fires about 6,000 rounds per minute. So the rate of fire that you'll be looking at
Steven.
is basically 10 or so of these firing pellets into your vacuum chamber. And that's of course going on the basis that the energy required to actually make a shot was the energy it takes to run a kettle for about 10 minutes, which, as we'll see, isn't quite true.
And the other big challenge, of course, is not just increasing the repetition rate, but also getting the gain out of the targets to go up to about a factor of 100.
Now, they just explained why this isn't and will never be
Energy.
a power generating
Right.
facility.
Exactly. It's a
But let's
weapon.
just lowball it for the moment and go for the goal of 10 shots per second.
She outed
10
herself.
times per second is basically 1,000,000 shots per day. versus their current 1 shot per day. But I'm going to give them that for free. I'm going to say that's a solved problem. That they can get 1 million shots per day out of it. And that'll never burn out the windows forever. That's never going to happen. But whatever, I'm going to call it a solved problem. And I'm going to call it a solved problem that they can focus all of those lasers with micron precision on a tiny target 10 times per second. I'm going to call all of those solved problems. But there's an intrinsic problem here.
Kevin Monaco.
You're still firing 10 pellets per second into a vacuum chamber. And you're going to be adding material to that at the rate of about 1 gram per second. Then vaporizing that into the vacuum chamber. Basically, it's not going to be a vacuum chamber for long. It's just going to fill up with the crap that you're throwing into it. This is before we come to the minor caveat
but also getting the gain out of the targets to go up to about a factor of 100.
Yeah, well, 60 Minutes never gets around to telling us that this facility has nothing to do with making fusion power stations.
Remember December's breakthrough put 2 units of energy in and got 3 out?
It does eventually get around to telling us that the whole 2 units in, 3 units out ain't quite true.
Well, it took 300 units of power to fire the lasers. By that standard, it was 300 in, 3 out.
There you go.
That detail was not front and center at the Department of Energy's December news conference.
And it's not really exactly a
scientists
breakthrough
in the world haven't
achieving
been able to
ignition.
perfect this yet.
This was done on a semi-regular
The greatest
basis by something
minds in the
called
world.
nuclear weapons testing. You know, before it was banned and people had to look at other avenues of exploring nuclear weapons research. But anyway, I promised you the deep undercover sting that would get inside the deep state and expose what they are not telling you. You know, about this being a nuclear weapons research facility, which I did by looking at their website. So what do we got at the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, National Ignition Facility? NIF is a key element in the National Nuclear Security Administration's science-based stockpile stewardship program. That's basically looking after nuclear weapons.
The thing is, in 1992, the US stopped nuclear testing. So if we can't test them, how do we assure our government, our allies, and our adversaries that these weapons won't fail if they're needed?
They're needed?
Science, you'll see their first.
Did she just say nuclear weapons are going to be needed?
High energy density science.
What the hell? If they're needed? The whole point of having them, I thought, was not to use them. God.
Advanced weapon.
She's worried about them failing.
Seeing a lot here
and not killing enough people.
Power station.
God,
but
it's
even
psychotic.
If I had done this, I could have just
we
watched
want the nukes to fail.
Today's announcement.
We want them to fail.
It's a huge step forward to the president's goal of achieving commercial fusion within a decade.
More immediately, this achievement will advance our national security in at least 3 ways. First, it will lead to laboratory experiments that help NNSA defense programs continue to maintain confidence in our deterrent without nuclear explosive testing.
Now I gotta say, I like this guy. I like this guy a lot, especially on the basis of his honesty.
Second, it underpins the credibility of our deterrent by demonstrating world-leading expertise in weapons-relevant technologies.
What a piece of garbage.
Third, continuing to assure our allies that we know what we're doing and continuing to avoid testing will advance our non-proliferation goals, also increasing our national security.
We'll talk
now,
about
oddly enough, I don't
not
actually
matching
have too
your
much
head.
trouble with this just being a nuclear weapons research facility. Remember how I said earlier
Kevin
that a
Monaco.
nuclear power station cannot blow up like a bomb, because
Kevin
bombs
Monaco.
need very precise geometries and microsecond timings. And anything goes slightly wrong with that, and you don't get a boom, you get a fizzle. Or just nothing at all. If that fissile material isn't kept away from the atmosphere, it will corrode, creating layers of corrosion that will increase the likelihood of a fizzle. It can also warp the metal, also increasing the likelihood of a fizzle. The nuclear material also slowly self-irradiates, eventually building up isotopes that can poison the
Let's
pit.
start a thing on
Basically
Twitter, and I hope
stopping
you guys will
the nuke
help
from
me
being
out.
a nuke. The neutron initiators tend to be honkingly radioactive stuff that has a very short shelf life, and if they're not maintained, no initiator, no nuclear explosion. Give or take, the US has about 4,000 nuclear weapons, about half of them waiting to be dismantled. And all in, it spends about $30 billion maintaining them. Give or take, that's about $10 million per nuclear weapon per year. This is also the reason why it's entirely possible that Russia doesn't have any functioning nuclear weapons. The Soviet Union broke up some 30 years ago, and the recent invasion has showed us that the corruption has clearly been funneling money out of the maintenance of their conventional army. Well, if siphoning money out of the military on conventional stuff is easy, siphoning it out of nuclear weapon maintenance is a no-brainer. I mean, they're never going to be used anyway, so boom, you can just pocket $10 million per nuclear weapon per year. And of course, no one will ever find out unless someone is crazy enough to push the button.
I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5?
Yeah, there is a very good chance that there are no functioning nuclear weapons.
Everybody, I just tweeted a tweet, and to me in Cyber Reload, it's really important. If you guys go to a podcaster and say they've been podcasting for years, were you guys ever interested in watching like the first upload that they ever did and seeing their journey? And so when you went to their videos, it says you could organize them from newest to oldest, or you could flip that and go from oldest to newest, or you could do most popular, most watched. Remember all those options you used to have when you'd go to any uploader on YouTube's channel? You guys remember this feature? So if you wanted to go to Trendy As Dabber's pages and you wanted to see the first upload on any one of my 25 or 30 YouTube channels, just to see what was the first video Nate put up on this channel, you could just go to my videos feed and click on oldest to newest. It was on a drop down.
Kevin Monaco. No autoplay.
So I'm just kind of wondering if any of you knew that you used to be able to go to YouTube.
Jeff Lund. You've done that in the past to find one of your older videos.
Right, Jeff Lund? So you could go to YouTube, Jeff, right? And you could literally go to YouTube, go to anybody's channel, you could go to their video, you click on videos, right? And there would be a drop-down menu, and you'd click on that drop-down menu, and it would say oldest to newest. You guys remember that? If I go to YouTube, I'm just going to click on this guy's channel. I'm going to click on his videos. And now it just says latest and popular. Where's oldest to newest? What if he's got 10,000 videos on his channel? Am I supposed to scroll through 50 pages to go find his first video? Why would you remove that feature? And why is Jeff Lund the only single human being who has responded to me about this so far? Why aren't you guys talking to me about this? I asked you a very honest question. I wanted to know if you guys, this is very important to me in cyber, that they bring this back. Right? So, I mean, there, Honey Dipper Dan is obviously listening to me. Thank you, Dan. And Allison Bancroft liked my tweet. I see Oracle on Twitter. Maybe he'll go there and retweet that. Honey Dipper Dan retweeted my tweet. It says, "Dear YouTube, please bring back the ability to organize any podcaster's videos in order from first to last, like it had been for the last 13 years or so. Thanks. From every human who ever used your service."
Steven. Was a while ago.
What was a while ago? I'm just kind of wondering, did you guys not know that you could do... Just let me know in the chat, man. Just talk to me. You didn't know that you could go, hey, there's Scoob. Scoob's on Twitter retweeting me. Thank you, Scoob. I really, really, really appreciate that. Now, here's how you would do this. I would retweet these at YouTube, at Team YouTube, at YouTube India, at YouTube Music. You could retweet it at all of them in a single tweet. And you can also put at Nays Garden in those retweets so I can see what you're doing. Right? Just send it right to me, right back to me, and put at YouTube, at Team YouTube, at YouTube, analytics or whatever they have, all their different ones, and just make a whole list of them. What do you think? Try a retweet like that. Instead of just clicking that button, you could actually start putting in a bunch of, right? Billy Bong is listening. Hey, Billy Bong. Oh, it's Billy Bong. Hey, Billy Bong, how about you retweeting that at YouTube? Billy Bong, how about you retweeting that?
Thornton. I only thought you could make playlists.
Billy, no, that's what you have to do now. You can't, because you can't put them in order from oldest to newest anymore. You used to be able to do that. And I'm wondering, did you guys not know that you could do that? Billy Bong, can you go retweet this at YouTube and at Team YouTube and at... Can you go do this for me since you're on Twitter? Scoob, can you do it too? Can you guys retweet this at YouTube? Retweet it at... You can do this all in one tweet. Just click the... I don't know if you guys know how to do this or not. It's got 5 likes and 4 retweets, but I want you to retweet it at YouTube. I want you to retweet it at Team YouTube. I want you to retweet it at YouTube Music. I want you to retweet it at all these other YouTubes. If you just start typing in at YouTube, all these other ones come up. If I do it, it'll just hurt my freaking chances of anybody seeing it.
Kevin Monaco. Hashtag no censorship.
How about you, Kepper? Could you hop on Twitter and do this too? I mean, I really want to be able to put videos in order of last to first. I don't know why some re-engineer at YouTube thought it was better to take away an awesome feature. Why would you do that?
I don't favorite writer. Kevin Monaco. But I told you.
Because once again, they found a way to take us further apart from each other. So I can't go through and get to know somebody the way I want to. They make it harder and harder. And I'm supposed to sit there and just scroll through pages and pages of videos to find the first upload? You know, if you don't like scrolling through pages and pages of videos and you want to just be able to click a drop-down feature like it's always been on YouTube, please go to Twitter. Go find my tweet. It's Dear YouTube. I'm not putting it at YouTube because no one will see it if I do that. You guys won't see it. No one will see it. So I just made a vanilla tweet. And it's up to you guys to retweet that. And when you're retweeting it,
Kevin
put
Monaco.
At YouTube.
Swipe left.
At Team YouTube. At YouTube Music. At YouTube India. At YouTube, Business. At YouTube, all of those. Make a tweet, and you could do that all in one single tweet, one single retweet. I've only got 2 retweets, it says. There, you did it. There, thank you. Now I can retweet you. Thank you. Now I'll retweet your tweet of my tweet. Thank you. Wow, Billy Bong Thornton figured it out. Now look, now I'll hit retweet and I'll quote tweet, right? You got to hit quote tweet and then I'll click, you guys might not have known that, at YouTube, at Team YouTube, right? At YouTube, it only takes a second, creators, at YouTube Gaming, at YouTube Music, at YouTube Insider, at YouTube India. That's easy. There you go. Just click the retweet button, click quote tweet in the drop down, and then add all those ads. Here, I'll give you the ads. You copy and paste them in the chat. There you go. And now retweet
Kevin
my
Monaco.
retweet of Billy Bong's
Do I need to show them
retweet of
Pico
my
Palace?
OT, of my original tweet. Bro, I just want them to bring back searching videos. That's it. You know, just let's start a thing, man. It's a legitimate request. And it's stupid that some moron at YouTube thought it would be a good idea to take away something that's good. I mean, doesn't that bother you guys in the chat? Or are you guys just appreciating people doing dumb shit to you on the reg now? I want to see
Kevin Monaco.
a reaction in my chat, guys. I really do.
Fecal toy out job.
There's a lot of you here. Let me explain to everybody that's just coming in. Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. I really do appreciate all of you being here. Thank you. You see, I'm a little worked up. YouTube has taken away the ability to organize somebody's videos from oldest to newest. Okay? There's not a single person who would say, I didn't like that
Kevin
feature.
Monaco.
You know
Show
why?
Trump what he does.
Because if they didn't
Kevin
like that
Monaco.
feature, they wouldn't have to
There.
use that feature. Right? So everyone who ever used that feature that wanted to reverse the from oldest to newest and see what my first upload ever was on YouTube easily, didn't have to sit there for 2 minutes and scroll through fucking, 35 fucking pages of videos. 50 videos at a time. Because I have 8,000 videos on my channel. And I'm not the only channel that's got a lot of videos. So someone that just, what was his first upload? Where was he at when he first started? Where'd this guy come from? I've had that question about a lot of podcasters. I've seen a lot of podcasters' first video. And you know the way I found it? I clicked on oldest to newest under their video section in YouTube. YouTube has taken it upon themselves recently to remove that feature. And now, if you want to go to my 8,000 video channel and just go see the first one I ever put up, best of luck to you, because you're going to be sitting there forever, scrolling through video after video after video, because you're no longer able to put them in the order of oldest to newest. YouTube removed
Kevin Monaco.
a viable feature
Show some Hashbian 421st video.
for no good reason at
Kevin
all.
Monaco.
Okay, stick with me on this,
Detectable
everybody.
one.
Here's the big
Trending hit.
picture.
Quote tweets out.
Are you people sick of companies like YouTube doing away with conveniences that helped you for no reason at all? Are you sick of that? This little stupid thing that they do, when a company does something stupid like that, the public needs to speak out and tell them, put it back. And when the public speaks out and tells them to put it back, they will. YouTube will fix that. They'll bring it back. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to be like, wait, who was in charge of that section that removed that? I want to talk to the person. I want to bring them in my office right now, and let's have a talk. Bring the guy in that did the programming and his supervisor. Both of you are coming to my fucking office right now. Let's sit down and talk about this. I want to find out, why did you remove the ability to search videos from oldest to newest on everybody's YouTube channels? Why did you do this? Was there a memo that went out to tell people that you were going to be removing this feature? Did you bother to ask people if they thought that would be a good idea to take a search feature away from everybody's YouTube channel?
Kevin Monaco.
They're patronizing you. They're speaking down to you like you're a child. Okay? They're putting the training wheels back on your fucking YouTube. You need to realize they're trying to get more TikTok-y. They're trying to get more, 15 seconds of orgasm for you. Because that's all your little fucking pea brains are programmed to accept now. 15 seconds of fucking bleh. Oh, that was good. I need 15 more seconds of bleh. So, hey man, when I see somebody scrolling through posts on social media, I'm like, right on. When I see somebody scrolling through 15-second videos on TikTok, I'm like, you're like a fucking lemming. I hope that opens some eyes out there. You're being programmed, okay? And YouTube is pushing you right down that freaking hole. You might think, dude, they just took away the ability to search videos from, boards to backwards. Why are you making such a big deal about it? Why are you so angry about it? Problem isn't me, man. The problem is you. Because you sit there all complacently and let fascism destroy your fucking lives. While I sit here and speak out against it. And don't let these motherfuckers take your libraries away and burn your fucking books. Destroy your way to connect with podcasters. And everything that you're seeing around you, it's all happening at once, man. Stand up. Take a sip of coffee and a bong rip with me now. That segment has ended. Let's go back to Thunderfoot.
In Russia.
Being this is a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off.
But I don't see anyone itching to find out.
You have to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Power resides where men believe it resides.
I was looking for it.
It's a trick.
It was like right there.
And
I didn't see it right there. It's so funny. It was outside my periffs. It was outside my periffs. It was behind the bong perfectly. It was right outside my periffs.
And
or inside my periffs.
A very small man
way inside,
can
too
cast
far
a
inside
very
my
large
periffs.
shadow.
It was way too far inside my periffs.
Is willing to call your bluff.
All right, so we're smoking a bong rip now.
Is actually as effective as having them.
This Thunderfoot video showed that 60 Minutes went into a nuclear weapons research facility, and they fooled 60 Minutes into thinking that they're doing energy experiments, that they're trying to harness energy, and they're not. They're trying to release a bunch of energy. And Thunderfoot just debunked the whole frickin' laboratory. That's what we just watched. I smoked a Thunderfoot. He's awesome. Check out his takedown of Ben Swan, please. It's on Thunderfoot's channel. It's 2 zeros, okay, for the foot. It's 2 zeros for foot. Thunderfoot, one word, on YouTube. Please go watch Ben Swan Debunked on Thunderfoot's channel. All right, please go watch that. All right. Cheers, guys.
And the illusion of having nuclear weapons is a damn sight cheaper than actually maintaining them.
Second, it underpins the credibility of our deterrent by demonstrating world-leading expertise in weapons-relevant technologies.
Yeah, this had diddly squat to do with fusion as a power source.
Was built for $3.5 billion to ignite self-sustaining fusion.
Or any of that other bullshit fluff.
If fusion becomes commercial power one day, it would be endless and carbon-free.
But if you step back from the fact that this is a weapons research facility and past all of the bullshit about this being a fusion energy breakthrough that's going to give us all free energy, on a practical level, this was still a remarkable achievement.
192 laser beams entered from the two ends of the cylinder.
Mom, it was 60 minutes. Yeah, it was 60 minutes. Yeah.
And struck the inner wall.
That
That happened in less time than it takes light to move 10 feet. X-rays from the wall impinged on the spherical capsule. Fusion fuel in the capsule got squeezed. Fusion reactions started. The energy production took less time than it takes light to travel 1 inch.
As for funding nuclear weapons research by the back door, well, this ain't exactly new, and it's been ragged on in popular culture going way back.
In collaboration with the best scientific brains at its disposal, what can Hercules do? It can send at the press of a button enough power to destroy any foreign body on a collision course.
Meteor 1979.
And it highlights some uncomfortable truths about how humans progress.
Hercules is an armed orbiting satellite. Its nuclear weaponry aimed toward outer space.
So I'm worried he's
name.
going to get me a
Wrong
copyright here.
And how it isn't always done.
I'm going to speed it up a little bit.
The space program was, of course, a barely concealed weapons delivery program, and GPS, of course, was developed mostly to accurately target missiles anywhere on Earth. Putting men onto the moon was mostly a schlong measuring contest between the two, at the time, nuclear superpowers. That is, one of the most iconic moments in human history was basically born out of a schlong measuring contest. Humans are, complex.
Humans are complex.
Hope you found it interesting. If you did, maybe drop a thumbs up.
Dude, everybody should go support Thunderfoot. That's what you should do. I'm going to give you a direct link to his channel. He's got 1 million subscribers, and you should be one of them. You know? I would bet that maybe only 2 of you in my chat are subscribed to Thunderfoot.
Dominic Leo.
Who are the 2 people?
Cheers, Nick.
Who are the 2 people who are currently subscribed to Thunderfoot's channel? Let me know. Who are my 2 people? Give me a 1 in the chat if you're currently subscribed to Thunderfoot's channel. If you're one of those 1 million people like me. We've used so many of his videos on this show. I would love to interview him. I'd probably have 1 million questions for him.
Trendy Nick. Subbed years ago.
Oh, I know Nick. I knew
Kevin Monaco.
that Nick was subbed.
Maybe.
Well, click on the link, Kepper, and tell me if you're subscribed or not. Click on the link I just put in the chat. It's that simple. There's a link. Click on it and see if you're subscribed. Everyone else, click on the link. Subscribe to Thunderfoot's channel, man. I'm telling you. Go back and start watching his videos. What's this?
Hey everyone, my name is Johnny. I am an independent journalist and filmmaker. Pause, yes, I know some of you are asking, am I actually doing this? Yes, I'm actually doing this. We're doing a deep dive on UFOs.
Ha! Why UFOs are suddenly everywhere? We have proof! 6.5 million views 2 weeks ago. Sounds interesting.
UAP.
Dude, it's not fair. It's not fair that YouTube allows that guy to get 6.5 million views and me to get, 20 people to a show. It's not right. This show needs to be promoted on YouTube. This is bullshit. Guys, it's talking about freaking UFOs and if they exist. So, of course, Thunderfoot's going to debunk that. Of course. I don't have to go there. I need a bong rip. We've debunked UFOs on here plenty of times. We've used multiple channels that go through all sorts of methods to show, the debunkable videos what they are, and there's a preponderance of evidence to debunk, almost all of it. So
Billy Bong
very
Thornton.
easy to fake a UFO video.
If you have anything to do with cannabis, YouTube brushes you under the rug. Billy Bong Thornton. YouTube is racist.
I would say that YouTube is discriminatory. I don't know how deep their racism goes against different races or groups of people. I would think that Syrians are discriminated against. I would think that Afghanis are discriminated against. I would think that when someone from Russia tries to put something up on YouTube, they're discriminated against. I would think that somebody that might be from North Korea would be discriminated against if they tried to put, or someone from China would be discriminated against from YouTube. I would think they probably are freaking racists. You know, they probably are. What about someone from Yemen? You know, how many videos can you get from them?
The Ballantine Collection. Palestinian big time.
Palestinians, oh yeah, we got all those fucking informative Palestinian channels on YouTube. You guys are aware of that. I mean, they've gone out of their way to take down channels like RT, Lee Camp's Redacted Tonight. Man, that was sad what YouTube did to him. They took down his channel and they let somebody else copy his fucking channel name. Some Fox News fuckhead copy his fucking channel name and now is putting up right-wing bullshit under the name, Redacted. It's fucking crazy. And they pretend like they don't know that Lee Camp ever existed. We've covered that on here. Cyber wants to have a conversation with Lee Camp about China.
Joel Froggy. Right wing are cockheads.
Right winger cockheads. Joel, what's up, Joel? Joel Froggy.
Kevin Monaco. Penadejos.
You guys are so funny.
The Ballantine Collection. That always pissed me off, allowing duplicate YouTube channel names. The platform should copyright it as soon as a channel earns $1. I've had 2 channel names stolen.
They made a meatball out of the DNA of a mammoth, dude. This is how fucking stupid we are. That sums up the human race right there. We got the DNA from a mammoth. What did we do with it? We turned it into a meatball. Oh my god, the human race is over, bro. That's it. That is it. That signals the end. That is signaling the end. It's over. It's done. Oh my god. They're marketing it, guys. Prehistoric food. Oh my god. Please no, don't. We are done. It's official. The human race has ended. And I'm going to put up a little celebratory dude. Woo! And a check mark. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. We are so dumb. This is what our scientists do. And that's so funny because Joe just put up a
Kevin Monaco.
Joe just put up a video saying we are
Stand
so
up and
fucked.
spin around in circle. The Ballantine Collection. Brontosaurus Burr time. Get the Jurassic cheese. Call Dino.
Oh my god. I got this bowl packed, man. What do you guys think? Oh, did I do the SEO? Psh. I think I may have, actually.
Kevin Monaco.
I did the SEO.
Cheers. Kevin Monaco.
I did the SEO. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. You guys want me to do a choral round? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row your boat. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row your boat gently down the stream. Row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row your boat gently your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row your boat gently down the stream.
Joe Froggy. Louder. Billy Bong Thornton. Row, 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 row your boat.
No law regarding cannabis. I just want to say I hope you guys have fun coming here. I love doing this show for you. And I want to say thank you to all of you. You guys are giving me thumbs ups even. Thank you for that. On the YouTube, I see you're giving me thumbs ups. Thank you for those. Thanks for coming to the show and taking time out of your days and nights to come here and spend it with me. And at night when Cyber's here gaming. We really appreciate it. It means everything that you're here. If you weren't here, I wouldn't be doing the show. San Antonio man tracks stolen truck and kills the suspected thief. Had an air tag in the truck. That news just popped up. So if you steal somebody's car, man, don't do it in the fucking state of Florida. Because if you steal my car, I got another car. And I got a gun. And that's my castle. You stole my castle. And I'm coming after you. I'm going to get my car back. And my other car is faster than the one you stole. I promise you.
Christopher Strively.
I don't know. Can you freaking believe that, bro? You got tracked like a dog and shot down, bro. It's fucking crazy. He never even saw it coming. He stole a car that had a fucking GPS in it. Didn't know that motherfucker knew where he was the whole... He was just watching him. Had his gun on him and was just watching him. Right on, motherfucker. Where are you going to park? Right behind you. Just looking on his cell phone, bro. Think about that shit. That shit happened. They should make a movie about that, bro. From the minute that guy woke up in the morning and the minute the other guy woke up in the morning. And show both of their lives colliding like that. To the very end where he's just like, pow, pow, pow. Getting my fucking car back. Oh, I want to see that movie right now. Welcome to Florida. I wonder where that was. That wasn't in Florida. I don't think it was Florida, man. Where do I get that notification? Where was the notification? I don't know. It was the news.
Kevin Monaco. Did I sleep in his blood shoppy?
I don't know, man, but Got this bowl packed, man. No law regarding cannabis. So once again, thanks to all of you guys for coming into this show and spending time here. I wouldn't be doing it if it weren't for you. It is
Billy Bong Thornton.
4:20 in Newfoundland.
Be a good movie, nay write a script LOL and sell it to that guy who made Pulp Fiction. Kevin Monaco. Cheers.
Cheers.
The Ballantine Collection. Did you just call Tino that guy? Ha 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 ha, how dare you?
That guy. It'd be hard to write the other script to find out what the other guy did in the morning. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. Don't be stealing cars. Don't be stealing stuff. Don't do it. We all got guns now. So
Kevin
you
Monaco.
don't be stealing stuff anymore.
Gozer can jet na cord for us ne. Billy Bong Thornton. Yes, Quentin LOL forgot his name.
Trying to show these arms off. What are you even doing here? What are you looking at these? These are for my eyes only. I've been working on this too, man. A little bit. A little bit. Just saying. 190. Feeling pretty gnarly. At $1.90. 5'9", $1.90.
Joel Froggy. Dan Troy Destroy.
I can't lose any weight, man. I'm thinking about, I'm not gonna do it. Eating the bread. I'm just gonna keep eating it. I was trying to eat, not talking about it, not gonna do it. Yeah, I'm gonna keep eating it. I'm eating the bread, baby. There's no way. You can't eat the bread and lose the freaking belly. I gotta stop eating bread, bro. It converts to sugar. It's bad. I eat a lot of it. It's out there on the counter when I wake up.
Kevin Monaco.
I'm like, alright.
Just throw the heels
I
in
like
floor.
this. I like this with butter and I like it with cream cheese.
LOL.
And it goes right here and right here. My waxes and fats. I gotta cut my waxes and fats. Waxes and fats. Hey, what's up with Harmony 2038? What's up with this? 44,239. 27%. That's not right. What are we even doing here? What are we looking at here? Let's refresh that. Where were we? 9,438. I think it's worse than that. 9,4. Yeah, 9,188. Yeah, there we go. Now we're down to 26%. We were all the way up to 30%. So Harmony's dropped. Everything's... Hey, guess what, guys? The inverse head and shoulders has formed, and it is huge. And I told you it was going to happen. My goodness. You guys, look at these inverse head and shoulders patterns. Look at this. We got a shoulder, head, shoulder on Bitcoin. We've got a shoulder, head, shoulder on Ethereum. And we don't know what happened here to Harmony, man. Harmony didn't get the memo.
Kevin Monaco.
Harmony did not get the memo.
Harmony
didn't get the memo. Harmony's still dropping. 2035. It's not good. This is not good. But I'll tell you what is good, man. Harmony's going to track with whatever these do, and when these two both go up, which is what they're about to do off of this and this.
Kevin Monaco.
So they're going to go up.
How old in a Jet Green Checkin' Social Club app?
They're going to go up. Bitcoin's going to go up to, it's at 28.3, 28.6 is the high. This is 28.6.
Billy Bong Thornton. Peter Schiff is giggling, saying, "I told you so," by gold.
28,600. We should go to 28,500. Easy, but maybe 600 off of this. We were starting from here. It's going to fucking double that. It's going to hit 500 for sure. It's going to hit 500 for sure. I'm just saying, I make the calls. You make the profits. That's how we do it here in the garden, folks. Do we want to hear what this guy says about UFOs?
Is what the government now calls UFOs because UFOs, again, has been completely tainted by this stuff.
A UFO sighting over multiple cities.
I don't know what the hell it is.
An extraterrestrial event that changed the course of history.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's totally stupid and totally sensationalistic. Let's take a look at your intro for why UFOs are suddenly everywhere. We have proof.
US military officials have gone before a Congress hearing, releasing once classified videos from private helicopters.
144 unexplained sightings.
Yeah, I guess that puts the alien civilization people at like a 9 and you at a 7, maybe?
Now done like 3 videos with the New York Times, like the old newspaper, that even won an Emmy.
You're the first winner. Blue states, you're the problem. The New
I
York
don't
Times.
work for the New York Times, but I'm a YouTuber. I'm an independent. In many ways, the 2004 Tic Tac event is the starting point for a new era of UFO investigations. And again, big props to the New York Times.
Problem.
I don't work for the New York Times, but I'm a YouTuber. I'm an breaking the news that the Pentagon had been investigating UFOs in secret since at least 2007. As more and more of these unidentified flying objects were being reported and talked about in the public, the Department of Defense finally assembled an official unidentified aerial phenomenon task force.
Actually, it's more the US government investigates UFOs remedial edition.
Something very familiar about all this.
For slow learners. You see, back at the height of the Cold War, there was an awful lot of military spending in the US. The US was investigating.
Dude, I love that there's 6 million people out there right now who think they're smarter than me. I mean, just those 6 million people that believe this garbage. And they watch someone like me, and that's why they turn off my show. I'm smarter than that guy. Like that guy that came in this morning, remember that? And he left, he was like, bye. Because he thinks he's smarter than me. He doesn't think he's going to get anything out of watching my channel. I'm going to make him dumber.
To 70 cases of UFO sightings per month. And over the 15 or so years they studied these UFOs, Project Blue Book collected over 12,000 UFO reports and concluded that most of them were misidentifications of natural phenomena like clouds or stars or conventional aircraft. Summing up their 15 years of study and their 12,000 UFO reports as no UFO reported, investigated and evaluated by the Air Force was ever an indication of threat to our national security. There is no evidence submitted to or discovered by the Air Force that sightings characterized as unidentified represented technology developments or principles beyond the range of modern scientific knowledge. And there is no evidence indicating that sightings characterized as unidentified were extraterrestrial vehicles.
Okay. That's from the study from 1969. They said, we've got no evidence at all. They've got nothing. 1969.
12,000 reports, 15 years. And now for the slow learner edition.
Know that our service members have encountered unidentified aerial phenomenon. And because UAPs pose potential flight safety and general security risk, we are committed to a focused effort to determine their origin.
In the best traditions of politics, forgetting why it was closed down last time. The reasons that they closed Project Blue Book was because it cannot be justified either on the ground.
Congratulations. You've received 100 messages today with Restream Chat.
Grounds of national security or interest in science.
This is where I start to get pretty excited about the potential here. Because look, this is like a real high up person in our intel community in the military.
Wow, dude, are you really that dumb? Oh my god. Yeah, do you believe everything that everyone says that's high up in fucking leadership?
Kevin Monaco.
Because they got elected?
It's that 1M.
Wow,
Kevin
man.
Monaco. LOL.
Harry, who's talking about getting more data on this, on studying it. Keep going, Mr. Moultrie.
Yeah, I think this is why we start quoting things like those who don't study history.
Top of the hour, you guys. No longer running cannabis. I want to say thank you to all of you that come to this show and take time
with
out.
A dramatic zoom in,
It
because
means
you
everything
wouldn't want to traumatize a serious
so,
reporter
to all
while
of you
ignoring
guys,
the fact that
thank
they've
you. No
already
longer
done it
running
with
cannabis.
10,000
Cheers.
UFO sightings and came to these.
If you're on the Rumble,
Ultimately,
if you're on all
Project
the other
Blue Book
channels,
stated that UFO
thank you,
sightings were generated as a result of
we got
a
on the
mild form
Rumble.
of mass hysteria. I wonder what that would look like.
Like, yeah, I get it. The translucent cube thing is, like, more tantalizing, but, like, the fact that these pilots report seeing these UAPs, these UFOs, all the time, day after day, week after week.
Nobody's paying attention to this. I mean, this seems like a watershed moment. I mean, we have all this tape of objects defying the known laws of physics right next to U.S. military installations. The military admits it. Why is this not page one news everywhere?
Bush couldn't tie his shoe.
Well, it should be, absolutely. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it.
A mild form of mass hysteria, individuals who fabricate
Kevin
reports to
Monaco.
perpetrate a hoax or seek publicity.
These are the witnesses of one of America's most unusual UFO encounters in history. Navy veterans and a band of brothers that want you to know that what they witnessed is real. This is their story.
From one of the most specialized flight programs in the world.
I don't identify as a UFO person.
Like, these pilots don't have incentives to make this stuff up.
Dumbest reporter ever. Like, seriously, you would think she'd be interviewed for Reuters if she was just a regular pilot. Oh, well, of course, no incentive to make stuff up there, then. Anyway, where were we? Individuals who fabricate reports to perpetrate a hoax, blah, 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 psychopathological persons, or misidentification of various conventional objects. You know, like birds or planes. But we'll come back to that later. But probably the most damning observation is that the number of high-definition cameras on the planet is at least 1 million times higher than it was in 1952, and the number of images captured on those cameras is probably 1 million times higher as well. Yet the average quality of the UFO image remains fuzzy blob recorded on a potato.
Am I actually doing this? Yes, I'm actually doing this. We're doing a deep dive on UFOs. I'm actually doing this. I'm applying my journalistic lens to a topic.
And this is where you think your journalistic skills need to be deployed. Really? I'll cut to the chase. The hill he chooses to die on, his most convincing evidence, which of course has to be set to intriguing music, you know, because serious journalism.
One of those unexplained sightings was this one from 2004, the one we started this video on, the Tic Tac incident.
Oh, Johnny, did you back the wrong horse?
The report often cites lack of good data, and indeed, what we have here is not the best, but we still have 4 sets of eyeballs.
That's nothing! Project Blue Book had over 10,000 sets of eyeballs, and I'm sure a lot of it would have sounded really intriguing if you'd have just read out those reports.
We have an official Navy report.
Like this one submitted to Blue Book, where police officers Dale Sparr and Wilbur Neff spotted what they described as a disc-shaped silvery object with bright lights emanating from its underside at about 1,000 feet in altitude. They began following the object, which they reported sometimes descending as low as 50 feet.
Hovering stationary on the radar for a short amount of time and then departing at high velocities, high turn rate.
The police from several other jurisdictions were involved in the pursuit. The chase ended about 30 minutes later near Freedom, Pennsylvania, some 85 miles away. My God, the story is so exciting. We're Tom's going over it with an orange highlighter. But you know what would probably make it a little bit more convincing? Would be some actual evidence.
We have an official Navy report gathering facts from that day. Technicians seeing this thing descend from 60,000 feet down to 50 feet in a matter of seconds.
And it never once struck you as odd that all the things about this thing breaking the laws of physics and aerodynamics, things that we've used to make planes for the last 100 or so years, none of that is captured on the actual video. Which is why you have little animations like this for the completely absurd claims. You don't think that was just kind of a little too convenient?
Hovering stationary on the radar for a short amount of time and then departing at high velocities, high turn rates. This video, which is kind of uninspiring and grainy and not very long, but still shows us something, with its infrared not capturing any heat signature, any means of propulsion, as this thing flies around at mind-boggling speeds.
Yeah, you're an idiot. I mean, let's start with the obvious stuff. Here is a plane recorded in the infrared. Can you tell me where the obvious signs of propulsion are? And in fact, could we actually just claim this UFO has no obvious signs of propulsion? But there are other UFOs that I've seen from my balcony. I mean, this one was a hypersonic UFO that broke off and launched itself into orbit in a matter of seconds. Completely violating all the laws of physics, or this strange set of
the whole market just dumped, everybody. It should correct off of that Head and Shoulders. This should flip and start going up, but this is crazy. Ethereum's at 800. Oh boy, will Ethereum hold 800? That's important.
Kevin Monaco.
Ethereum should hold 800.
Fans tip. Kevin Monaco.
This is a nail biter, folks. 801.
Fantastic.
801 140.
Kevin Monaco.
802 147.
Hope it's good.
We're on a falling wedge pattern with a inverse Head and Shoulders.
It picked me up and shook me like a dog.
We should be going straight up now, guys. 802 140. It should revert. This drop should reverse. I don't know what caused this drop. But this is what we watch, man. When I see this, I pull it up so you guys know what's going on.
Glowing objects in the sky. All of these, of course, are
like
probably better than all of these declassified Pentagon UFO videos. In reality, of course, this was just an insect flying by, and this was a flock of birds flying by. Meanwhile, in reality, of course, a plane flying away from you will look like it's hot in the infrared, kind of like this. And rather than it departing at high velocity, what you're actually looking at there is just the tracking camera mount looking at a distant object and just losing its tracking for a split second. So I've done a little augmented reality just to show you what's going on here. So on the top there, you've got the most important bit, which is, is the camera pointing to the left or to the right? There you've got roughly the cockpit, which is the direction the plane is going. It turns out it's not, it's slightly to the left, don't worry about that too much. But the map that you have here is about real size. So the size of the moon and the size of the field of view of the camera is about right. So when he zooms in a factor of 2, you get half the field of view. And when he zooms out, then you get about twice the field of view. So at the moment, he's got about 3/4 of a degree of field of view. So you can see the size of the object relative to the moon. Now, the top camera assumes that the pod is tracking perfectly, and the bottom one assumes that the object stays in the middle of the field of view. So about now, when there's a little spasm, you get some idea of just how little the pod had to twitch in order to keep the tracking. So that's when it almost loses the tracking on the object for the first time. Now, towards the end, what you'll see is he drops out to a wide field of view, then zooms straight back in, which is where the video cuts off. But what I want you to do is pay attention to the bottom video, which assumes that the camera pod just stops moving, and you see that the object just moves out of the field of view as would be expected. So all of the eyewitness accounts say it had no engines and no signs of propulsion.
Can you talk us through the technology that you witnessed?
If you can imagine a 47-foot-long Tic Tac, they didn't have any wings, they didn't have any propulsion system.
Whereas the infrared shows it's clearly hot, kind of like plane engines or something. All the accounts say it was maneuvering violently and hypersonically, whereas the actual video shows it making no maneuvers whatsoever. And the plane, far from chasing down anything, is in straight level flight the whole time.
Weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. I chased a UFO.
And only at the very end is there a slight twitch in the camera mount. So the Tic Tac, apparently sometimes it just hovers there static, and then occasionally, wow, it just zoomed off to one side. Did you see it move? And now it's transformed into some sort of blobby thing, and then it's hovering again, and oh no, hang on, wait, it's just a plane coming into land. And, so this is the digital stabilization, which is pretty good. I'm actually moving the camera around quite a lot, and you can see the vignetting coming in there, right? But occasionally the vignetting, if I zoom out, you won't get the vignetting anywhere near as much. And the digital stabilization will work quite well. But yeah, that's not actually the object moving there. The object is a plane coming in to land.
Monaco.
The plane flew backwards. Planes can't fly backwards like that. It broke all the laws of physics.
The plane flew backwards.
And of course, if we add all dirt to the camera lens, then we almost leave the dirt on the camera lens or texture in the background, like so. And boom, there's your evidence of a supernatural plane that's flying backwards.
Capturing any heat signature, any means of propulsion, as this thing flies around at mind-boggling speeds. Better stories, completely new and fresh formats, and to cover more topics with a further degree of rigor and factual accuracy.
Yep, that was it. That was his most compelling case, for there is something strange in the skies that nobody can explain.
That aside, there's still no satisfying theories that I could find that explain the 2004 Tic Tac case. Could be Russia or Chinese secret drones, or even experimental aircraft that we ourselves have been developing.
But let's just say he's not exactly unique in his inability to identify really, really mundane stuff.
The fact that we have military personnel that witnessed multiple objects, and not only were they eyewitnesses personally, but we have it on official DoD video, it doesn't get better than that.
And the 2004 Nimitz incident is the best evidence we have to begin to answer that question.
Look at this. It's incredible.
You're an idiot.
Absolutely. There it goes. Look at that.
And of course
I would just say this to those guys. How far would you think those things would have had to travel to get here? From some planet that we can't see. You fucking idiots. How would they survive in that little ship? Where's their food gonna come from? You think they don't eat food? Are you guys morons? Oh no, they can just get here in a blink of an eye. They can fold space and time. I've seen it in multiple movies.
Impressed by how much people sensationalize your slightly twitchy camera mount.
When one of the ship's fighter jets engaged a strange object in the sky, capturing footage of the incident on its infrared camera.
This is not some crazy person with their cell phone on Instagram, right? This is a $15 billion aircraft carrier with its radar systems.
Yeah, let me just read a little more on why Blue Book was closed down. The basic attitude and approach within Blue Book is illogical and unscientific. It would be like believing that you can get hundreds of encounters with UFOs by fighter pilots where they're seeing them on a daily basis.
To me, what's actually more compelling about what this guy just said is because we were seeing these so much. He is saying that these pilots have been seeing these things, essentially all the time. Wow. Yeah. Like, yeah, I get it. The translucent cube thing is, like, more tantalizing, but, like, the fact that these pilots report seeing these UAPs, these UFOs, all the time, day after day, week after week, that to me is more compelling evidence that we need to evaluate here.
But nothing can seem to quite operate a camera. You know, to take a decent picture of
seeing them all the time,
seeing them on a daily basis,
an
and
S23
this is the
and
best
show me some
pictures
good
they
footage of
got.
And then there was this incident in 2021 where a Navy pilot was filming out his window with a phone and caught this. Yeah, you probably missed it. Let's just slow that down. This. Like, what is this thing?
I don't know, let's see if we can zoom in and enhance to see what that can possibly be. But that can't be right. How can something fly with no obvious signs of propulsion and no visible exhaust? How can any of our pilots be safe till we can identify this clear and present danger?
But they also mentioned the safety of their pilots and their very expensive hardware.
And of course, we all know aluminiumized balloons wouldn't show up on radar. It's not like they use almost exactly the same thing in radar reflectors. You know, like the cubes frequently used to track high-altitude balloons.
Apex or the corners of that cube, best he could tell, were touching that inside of that sphere.
Wait, hold on, did you catch that? Not the weird cube inside of a translucent sphere, whatever. These videos and images were shot by Navy pilots who were on duty and have confirmed to be authentic by the United States government.
What are we observing?
What you see here is aircraft that is operating in a U.S. Navy training range that has observed spherical object in that area. And as they fly by it, they take a video. You see a It looks reflective in this video, somewhat reflective.
If you're trying to make a video of it, why wouldn't you slow down? Why would you fly by it so fast? Why wouldn't you slow down and keep your camera on the object and film it? And why would you jerk it around? It's so stupid.
And it quickly passes by the cockpit of the aircraft.
And is this one of the phenomena that we can't explain?
I do not have an explanation for what this specific object is, but in this case, we have at least that.
For the first time in more than half a century,
he's an idiot.
A House panel is holding a public hearing on mysterious flying objects, popularly known as UFOs.
Yeah, hundreds of UFO encounters, and this is the best picture they got. Oh no, sorry, they got this one too. If only I were a professional, award-winning journalist so I could apply my journalistic lens to how improbable it is that you would get your escaped party balloon downwind of, say, some major East Coast population centers.
God.
He told us his F-18 squadron began seeing UAPs hovering over restricted airspace southeast of Virginia Beach in 2014.
Oh, sorry. They managed to get these amazing pictures of them with the world's most sophisticated aircraft in the world's top military.
Every day for at least a couple of years.
Wait a minute, every day for a couple of years?
Mm-hmm. The Times reporting also revealed that there were other videos. The next year, in the same area, a Navy pilot captured a small round object traveling at what looks like very high speeds over the water.
Yeah, it's a duck or a balloon or something. It's certainly nothing of any interest or value. And the apparent movement is because of...
Guardian became the very evil he had wished to destroy. He became Parallax.
Tell the Guardians it's Parallax.
I know what a lot of the UFO people out there...
literally said, the pilot said, he goes, what the hell is that? He goes, it's an albatross. He goes, look at that sucker fly. Look at that sucker go. He's like, what is it? He says, it's an albatross. You could hear the pilot say it. Listen to the whole freaking tape, man. It's so stupid. People are such idiots.
We'll be saying right now. But wait, these were professional pilots.
These videos and images were shot by Navy pilots who were on duty and have confirmed to be authentic by the United States government.
Second Lieutenant Jake Jensen, West Point, graduate with honors. We're here because you're looking for the best of the best of the best, sir.
The best of what America has to offer. They're not going to misidentify a bird as a hypersonic vehicle. Yeah, tell me how my analysis from years ago has aged, Johnny. You know, versus the professional pilots.
Remember this video of the fast-moving round thing that the pilot was freaking out about? Turns out that the Pentagon analyzed this, knowing everything they know about where the jets were and what tools were being used to record this moment, and they calculated that this was actually just like an optical illusion. Like, this object actually isn't moving that fast. Only like 30 miles an hour.
They're reporting to us that they're seeing something that they can't explain, and it's also being backed up by the video evidence.
Luis Elizondo is the former director of a Pentagon program that investigated UAPs, and he's been pushing...
I feel obligated to just check in and make sure we're all on the same page, okay? First, we know it is a fact that the U.S. government has observed stuff in the air that they can't explain.
This is a clip from a 60 Minutes report on, of all things, UFOs and the U.S. military. Watch this.
A Navy aircrew struggles to lock on to a fast-moving object off the U.S. Atlantic coast in 2015.
Wow.
They cut it off right when he goes, what is that?
There. I mean,
he goes,
your suspicion should have been first clued in when...
And he goes, look at that sucker
you can just
fly.
about make out...
They always cut the video there.
You know, boom, 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 boom.
But these must just be weather balloons, right?
Well,
it's flapping its wings.
Weather balloons that are
you can see it flapping its wings.
Technologies that are far beyond.
And they're going in the opposite direction of each other.
Aerodynamics, things that are maneuvering in ways that no aircraft that we are currently aware of has that capability.
Because a headline like "Elite Top Gun U.S. Pilot from Aircraft Carrier Spots UFO on Infrared" has a little more clicking power than I don't know. Someone misidentifies something mundane on infrared camera. I mean, Tucker Carlson, he's a reporter with a real news channel. This isn't fake news, this is the real news. Inside the Navy's 2015 encounter with a UFO, 1 million views 2 years ago. UFO footage released by Pentagon, raw video 5 days ago, 2 million hits.
And that would include this video, which shows two Navy pilots encountering something bizarre off the east coast of the United States. Okay, these are guys who fly for a living, who know what other airplanes look like, including those maintained by foreign governments, and they're totally shocked by this. This is one among many incidents like it.
A mild form of mass hysteria. Yeah. I wonder what that would look like.
We are now witnessing a tipping point. You see, the burden of proof used to be on the believers to prove that UFOs are real. Now the burden of proof has shifted to the government and the military to prove that they're not real.
Flight performance characteristics.
The former director of a Pentagon program that investigated UAPs.
It's potentially like one of the biggest stories of my lifetime. And I don't care if it's about UFOs or whatever you call it. Something that we don't understand is getting very close to our military aircraft, and the government isn't responding adequately. And I hope you keep sounding the alarm on this.
A very fast flying albatross.
Yeah, what a gullible breed.
In a wind. They
But the
fly up to
evidence
70
is
miles an hour.
overwhelming. We have all this information from U.S. Navy pilots. We
The
now
government
have
determined
metrics.
that object
We
was
can
only going
actually
30 miles
measure
an hour,
how
guys.
fast they travel, how high they are,
Look at that
what
sucker
kinds
go,
of centrifugal
woo!
forces that they can experience.
He locked in
And
onto
science,
it.
remember, is based on things that are testable, reproducible,
He locked
and
onto a freaking bird.
falsifiable. Now we have testable information. A game changer.
Yep, apparently US Navy pilots really couldn't identify something utterly mundane. And all of those people working on the basis that these were trained observers, and so it must be something special if they couldn't recognize it. Who do I trust? A wing commander who has nothing to gain from this? Or you? Not you.
But when that same story is told by some of the most qualified observers on the planet, it makes you wonder.
Maybe these trained observers needed a little more training.
These are small, but the ones out there are far away.
If only we had something like 10,000 previous cases of this, maybe we wouldn't keep making these mistakes. The irony being, not only did this argument about trained pilots being professional observers make the rounds on the sensationalist news.
So, given what we know about their physical behavior, but the physics involved in the way these aircraft fly, what do you think the chances are they were created by human beings?
Well, I think there's only two alternatives left now.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go ahead and suggest that you've not actually looked at the data on this.
One is perhaps they are hypersonic drone vehicles. After all, the Russians, the Chinese, and the U.S. are experimenting with hypersonic drones.
Yeah, I'm going to love seeing how you square a hypersonic drone being overtaken by a plane traveling about half the speed of sound. But not only that, they had
right when
fighter
it comes
pilots
into
come
view, you
forward
see it
who
flap
were
its wings.
confident that this was not something mundane.
Just showed it.
Actually making videos about the Go Fast
This
video
guy's an
is not
idiot.
debunked. Next
This
time,
guy's a
ask an
fucking
actual
idiot.
fighter pilot. Someone who had been an F-16 pilot for 18 years.
Yeah.
So what I did, guys, I thought,
fly
like, how can I
goddamn jet.
explain this
Great.
to you? Like, it's so obvious to me that it's kind of hard to explain. Sit in your garage and hold up a bright light and try and debunk stuff, or you could just ask someone who's actually done this shit for decades and show you definitively with physics and models and...
Good. Twice the pride, double the fall.
So I just had to go back to basics, right? And that's what we do, man. That's what fighter pilots do. We draw it out, okay? It's just so obvious that he's wrong, and yet he's going on national TV, and he's saying, just spreading all this misinformation. So I'm going to prove easily. It's so easy to prove. I mean, before you do that, dude, please ask someone, anyone who's done this, who's used one of these things. It's obvious to anyone who's ever flown these things is you can't focus at something 10 miles away and then focus at something 5 miles away. It just is not how physics works.
Yeah, I give you a fighter pilot's expertise on optics. Camera's got to have a focal length, right? I mean, oh, hang on, wait. That thing in the foreground that says Mama's shelter is 5 miles away. And the stacks behind her are a power plant about 10 miles away.
And then focus on something 5 miles away.
Boom.
It just is not how physics works, right?
And that was basically the core of his argument.
Infinity.
You know, as a trained professional.
Every camera has it on there.
pilot with
It looks like an
15
8.
years
You
of
put it on there and it'll
experience.
focus on
It's
everything.
obvious to anyone who's ever flown these
He's
things
an idiot.
is you can't focus at something 10 miles away and then focus at something 5 miles away.
He's an idiot.
It just is not how physics works.
You're talking about individuals who have very high
That's how a
security
camera
clearances.
lens
They are
works,
trained
dumbass.
observers. We've actually paid them and put them through schools to be trained and very keen observers to scrutinize what they're seeing.
Right? And that's what we do, man. That's what fighter pilots do. We go, we draw it out, okay? We pencil, paper, man.
PSH.
There's not much video on the internet, so I can't really blame people for not understanding how this stuff works, because a lot of it is classified. And
Yeah. Why do I get the feeling the Simpsons were thinking of this guy when they created this meme?
God bless the idiot-proof Air Force.
Don't worry, Skrull. Now there are plenty of tards out there living really kick-ass lives. My first wife was tarded. She's a pilot now.
Fucking goose? What? Does he think we're idiots?
Kevin Monaco. My butole is classified.
Yes! In your 17 years of experience, you never managed to grasp the basic level of optics, like what is focal length and depth of field. Or why thermal cameras don't always give accurate temperatures. And you're the guy claiming to be an expert. Yeah. I think they had guys like you in World War II as well.
We had a saying in the Army that when the British bombed, the Axis took cover. When the Germans bombed, the Allied took cover.
Like, how would fighter pilots ever fight anybody?
But when Americans bombed, everybody took cover.
So the whole thing about they're trained professionals because they fly expensive planes, and therefore they're good at identifying stuff, not such a great argument. As Johnny will explain to us again.
Or remember this video of the triangles in the sky, filmed off of that destroyer?
I certainly do.
The ones with the flashing lights on them, just like airplanes?
When it was being reported like
Well, that was obviously
In night vision video from a Navy destroyer, a mysterious flying triangle above the deck of the ship. The Pentagon confirming the images obtained by documentary filmmaker Jeremy Corbell were taken by Navy personnel.
The Pentagon has confirmed a strange and unexpected sight captured by Navy personnel off the coast of California. The video shows flying pyramid-shaped objects hovering above the USS Russell and another warship.
It was late by filmmaker Jeremy Corbell.
Did
you see the Pentagon confirmed leaked images of videos and videos of UFOs buzzing over the Navy? Did you see that?
Well, Erica, there's another such video out that the Pentagon has confirmed that military in the state shot, and this is it. It was taken aboard a U.S. warship in July of 2019. It's a night vision shot that appears to show several unidentified triangles that are flashing in the clouds. This is off the coast of San Diego. And one of the triangles appears to join other triangles before the video abruptly ends. Again, the Pentagon has said this is a video shot by our personnel.
Christine, yeah, so this filmmaker, he just released this video that was taken by the U.S. Navy. He says that this is the best UFO video that has ever been released to the public.
Yeah, I wonder how that busted video has aged.
It turns out that this was more just quirky optics.
We're now reasonably confident that these triangles correlate to unmanned aerial systems in the area. The triangular appearance is a result of light passing through the night vision goggles and then being recorded by an SLR camera.
Expected to be a part of a report on unidentified aerial phenomenon to be presented to Congress this summer.
Recently released images may not convince UFO skeptics, but the Pentagon admits it doesn't know what in the world this is.
Yeah, within seconds of seeing this, I knew exactly what it was. Being an astronomer for some 40 plus years, and having spent a lot of time under the stars, might have helped a little. It's a plane. It's an out-of-focus plane, flying past some out-of-focus stars. Or no, let's be fair, it might be aliens. It's just they're so generous in turning their FAA-compliant navigation lights on when they're flying around Earth. But people kept sending it to me And then I checked out some of the videos, which had millions of hits on them.
What you're seeing are vehicles with a propulsion system that is not a reactionary propulsion system. It appears the propulsion system is a field propulsion system, that these craft might possibly be gravitationally propelled.
Jeremy Corbell is an idiot.
Alternatively, you don't like your fleet
so
of
is Joe Rogan.
Triangular-shaped UFOs.
Both of them.
Because it's not illegal. You can actually just focus the camera.
Whoa, did you see that?
Down to point.
Did you see that? Whoa, did you see how they turn into triangles?
Anymore.
John, this is a
Wasn't that
very
funny?
big day. I mean, the chairman of the
You
House
guys want to make that
Intelligence
bigger?
Committee describes this as one of the
Here, let's
great
watch that again.
mysteries of our time. And it's a big day for all of these people who...
Propulsion system that is not a reactionary propulsion system.
It's not.
It appears the propulsion system is a field propulsion system, that these craft might possibly be gravitationally propelled.
Watch this.
Alternatively, you don't like your fleet of triangular-shaped UFOs, because it's not illegal. You can actually just focus the camera,
Kevin Monaco.
down to point. And then, of course, it's not quite so cryptic anymore.
John, this is a very big day. I mean, the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee describes this as one of the great mysteries of our time.
They're
and
idiots.
it's a big day for all of these
Kevin
people who have spent
Monaco.
so many years
You're
pushing
all
for more
idiots.
transparency into
You're
this topic.
all a bunch
can
of
actually just
fucking
focus the camera.
idiots.
But especially for those Navy pilots
Watch
who
my
actually
show,
saw
friends.
these things with their own eyes.
Watch
We're
my
just
show
guessing one
for
possible
this.
explanation. They couldn't. Our military was completely
Idiot.
outmatched technologically by whatever these were.
Let me get this
Fucking
straight.
idiot.
The stunning evidence of a bird filmed in the infrared and an out-of-focus commercial plane, and literally thousands of sightings that didn't yield a single piece of evidence, is now apparently evidence that the US military is being massively outperformed by infrared bird and out-of-focus plane. But let's be fair and give the Deputy Director of Naval Intelligence and Johnny one last chance to show that they're idiots.
It turns out that this was more just quirky optics.
We're now reasonably confident that these triangles correlate to unmanned aerial systems in the area. The triangular appearance is a result of light passing through the night vision goggles and then being recorded by an SLR camera.
These objects are probably foreign drones trying to spy on US military maneuvers. Yeah, they might not be triangle in shape, but that's still really useful information.
You're an
We should
idiot.
know if there are foreign adversaries
I'm
floating
way
over
smarter
our
than you will
Navy
ever be.
No, really,
you
unmanned
fucking
drones
cunt bitch.
spying on the US military,
God, what an
which is
idiot.
really useful information because foreign adversaries always turn on their FAA compliant navigation lights when they're spying
Kevin
on the
Monaco.
enemy.
You get a way deeper look
Whatever
at what it's
happened
like to
back
be
in the
an
house
independent
story
journalist on YouTube
Kevin
in this day and age.
Monaco.
You're a professional
LOL.
independent journalist or
Kevin
trained
Monaco.
Pentagon intelligence officer.
Well, show him.
Can't recognize when a camera's out of focus. Or recognize basic things like navigation lights.
I'm actually doing this. I'm applying my journalistic lens to a topic.
Yeah, I get it. We
says,
can't all do actual
you guys,
research in our journal.
he says, I'm actually doing this. I'm applying my journalistic lens to UFOs. I'm actually doing this. Insert General Captain Picard freaking meme here with Data sitting in front of him, not knowing how to act human.
Especially when it takes so much time and mental effort to film and highlight all that stuff that
There's
people
the Dr.
say, for which
There's Dr. John Campbell freaking trick.
Evidence.
Circling and
Putting all
underlining and dotting,
dramatic sound effects.
checking off.
Any means of propulsion
Jimmy Dore loves
as
that.
this thing flies around at mind-boggling speeds. This. What is this thing?
Sure, it makes stuff entertaining to watch. An independent journalist with a totally open mind investigates UFOs has been the source of clickbait yellow journalism since forever. And Johnny's contribution here was to water it down just a little bit. But even at that, we know the videos like mine here, which show how mind-blowingly simple these unexplained phenomena are, will get 1% of the traffic of the clickbait of Navy pilot chases UFO. But I guess this is why there are still some folk out there who support me on Patreon, because, well, my videos might not be the best production values. They are effective. Look, legacy media used to be almost zero intellectual content with great production values. Old school YouTube flipped that. But more and more it feels to me like YouTube is morphing into legacy media. You know, focusing on people walking around doing research to dramatic music in front of cameras. Look, the second people start making claims like this.
Technicians seen this thing descend from 60,000 feet down to 50 feet in a matter of seconds.
Claims that, of course, are nothing new. Blue Book had claims like this too. You have the simple, obvious explanation, which is the radar glitched, or something similar.
Sir, there are 6 of them. Bearing 215, range 150 miles. God, a dozen more of them.
And when you get the objects performing things that you know is impossible from basic aerodynamics. Look, this is what one atmosphere of air looks like. And you know that to move through it, you've got to wait for it to get out of the way. Which is why very fast travel through the lower atmosphere is impossible. This is why commercial planes typically fly at about 10 kilometers where there's not much air left. And hypersonic flight takes place much higher where there's only about 1% of the atmosphere left. Yeah, if you want to move through the fluid of the atmosphere, you've got to move through the fluid. It's not magic.
Technicians seen this thing descend from 60,000 feet down to 50 feet in a matter of seconds.
Ballpark figures. This is what one atmosphere of pressure looks like. Up where the commercial jets are, it's about 1/10 of that. And up where hypersonic vehicles operate, it's almost space. Look, Concorde flew pretty high and pretty fast, and even at that, it got pretty toasty from the frictional heating. If you'd have tried that at sea level, the plane would have melted. Or another way of looking at it is what happens when a real object comes in from space, like say for instance the space shuttle. It's basically a hypersonic vehicle, and when it starts coming into contact with the atmosphere, it gets pretty hot. You come into the lower atmosphere too quickly, and you basically melt the spacecraft.
100 years ago, most people were still riding around on horses. They would have looked at our modern world, all of this, and thought that certainly aliens had come to take over. Certainly some crazy magician had come and reshaped the entire planet. And that's exactly what happened. Crazy scientific breakthroughs happen all the time.
No, they don't. The basics of the thermodynamics of burning fuel to run heat engines has been unchanged for about 100 years. Hell, the thermodynamics it runs on is unchanged for 200 years. And from this field of science that's been around for some 200 years, we understand that if an object moves through a fluid, like the atmosphere, at hypersonic speeds, it's going to get hot. It's a thermodynamic inevitability. No advances in technology will change that, because it's basic thermodynamics.
Real answers only come when you have real inquiry, with real tools to measure and analyze real data from the real world.
Oh yeah, no, totally. Let's siphon research funds away from real research, whatever, researching for a cure for cancer or something, and put those millions of dollars of government funding into researching UFOs, such that panicky idiots can dismiss the obvious conclusion that out-of-focus plane, bird, and twitchy camera mount are not a threat to national security as some great conspiracy.
The evidence that I've presented here is solid. Solid sources, solid reporting. If I had evidence like this for any other story that I'm doing, I'd be like, this is solid evidence, let's put it in the story. Okay? We know that it's true.
Oh, we know that it's true, he says.
Oh, and it's not just the few events that I've mentioned here. According to this report, there's been 144 of these instances, either from the U.S. military or government prisoners.
Oh wow, 144, that's so impressive. Hang on, didn't Bloomberg have over 10,000 before being wound up after blowing millions of dollars of government funding.
Instead of cobbling together the scant evidence that we have to fit some narrative that we want to believe, let's go out there and gather data and analyze it and build a body of knowledge about this. Let's poke at these phenomena and figure out what the hell is going on in our airspace. At the very least to keep us safe, but potentially so that we can discover something new, something that we can observe, measure, analyze, and learn from.
With the conclusion that it cannot be justified either on the grounds of national security or interest of science.
There's the music. It's over, folks. So, you should all subscribe to Thunderfoot, man. You'll learn. We'll come to the same conclusions, you'll see. And that's a good thing, man, because he uses science. I wonder if Ethereum's going to go back over 1800. It is made the turn, so if you wanted to buy in, looks like now would be the dip, if you wanted to buy the dip. I mean, I'm not looking to buy Bitcoin at 28,000 personally.
Corruption. That's absolutely right. When in free fall at 120 miles per hour, you continuously heat up until rapidly slowed down. It's worse in a wind tunnel. It's so fast you heat up from friction of the air.
4 people over there on the Rumble sphere. Nobody's chatting, but thank you for the thumbs ups that I never got. Hey, I got 2 thumbs ups. Thank you guys. Over there on Rumble, I appreciate that. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's morning show. It was fun. And I'll see you guys this afternoon or this evening for more fun times. In the meantime, I'm on Twitter. Right now, we're trying to get YouTube to bring back being able to view people's videos from oldest to newest. So if you would, please retweet my tweets at YouTube, Billy Bong Thornton's tweets at YouTube, at Team YouTube, at YouTube, India, YouTube. You'll see it, man. You'll see all those tweets if you go on Twitter. I really appreciate it. I'm at Nays Garden on Twitter. It's right there. Thank you guys. Love you guys. See you later. But see you sooner if I see you on Twitter. I'm at Nays Garden on Twitter. Bye, guys.